Welcome. Welcome to Small Insight, Big Impact. I am your host, Dr. David Cheche, and today we are learning from one of the most misunderstood creatures in the animal kingdom, the ostrich. People think the ostrich buries its head in the sand to avoid danger, but that is a myth. Here is the truth. Ostriches don't bury their heads in the sand. They lay their heads low to check on their heads or position their heads to blend in the horizon to protect what matters. This behavior is often referred to as the ostrich effect. That's the instinct to avoid, ignore, or bury your head in the sand when life gets uncomfortable and unpredictable. But when we do this, what really happens? You do not escape the reality, you just delay it. And that makes the cost even greater. Let's explore why this happens and, most importantly, how to break free. It is our tendency to always avoid negative information. And when we know the truth, and know even that the truth will be able to help us make better decisions. Think of it this way. You've gone for a blood test, but you are afraid to open or see the blood test results. Or you are ignoring the crack in a relationship between you and somebody. Initially, the avoidance feels like protection, but in reality, it is just procrastination wearing a mask. So we should always remember that avoidance comes at a cost. When we avoid reality, we grow the problem we are trying to escape from. We lose control over the outcome. We also increase the emotional, physical damage that it causes. And we also miss out on opportunities to help, adopt, or seek help in that situation. So there's a saying that goes that ignoring the storm never stops the rain. It just soaks everything while you are still not looking. So avoidance offers short-term comfort, but long-term pain. So the lesson here is that we should focus on the relationship with truth. We should speak up to the truth, stand up to reality. Why do we avoid the truth? The reason why we avoid the truth is because of our emotions, especially our fears. We usually have fear of pain or disappointment. We also have fear of losing control in the situation that we find ourselves. We also have fear of taking responsibility sometimes. And also the fear of what the truth will require from us is also another thing that draws us from or keeps us from moving forward or standing up to the truth. But you know what? Self-honesty is more powerful than the fear, because owning your own reality puts you in the driver's seat. So you have control over the problem. But in most cases, we don't see it that way. So here is a twist. While the effect itself is negative, becoming aware of it can empower us, because we notice that avoidance in our own behavior will give us opportunity to be able to act differently, such as facing the truth head on, building emotional resilience, and improving relationships. So in a way, The ostrich effect becomes good if we use it as a mirror, a signal to step into courage instead of fear. Remember, truth is far more powerful and filled with lessons that can change the perspective on courage, strategy, and self-belief. Let's look at other lessons that we can learn from this majestic bird that are relevant to our life and leadership journey. We need to stand tall and face the truth in all situations. The ostrich is the tallest bird. And it walks quietly but with confidence. So what that means is we need to speak up, we need to stand up to the truth. We don't need to shrink ourselves to make others comfortable. We have to make our posture felt in whatever situation we find ourselves, so that when we stand tall, our mindset will reflect the same. So remember, whether you are in the boardroom or you are facing a personal crisis, your presence speaks before you do. The second lesson is when we are faced with storms or faced with headwinds, we should run with purpose. The ostrich is not the fastest runner. It runs roughly between 40 to 50 miles per hour. But interestingly, it is the fastest land speed of any bird. When danger comes, the ostrich doesn't panic. It moves with speed and intelligence. So, when we are faced with any problem or every problem, we need to be able to make good decisions and move fast. We don't need to fear. We just need to have courage and make the right decision to move forward. The third lesson is for us to protect what matters most in our lives and in our teams and organizations. The ostrich lowers its head not to hide, but to turn their eggs or watch out for their eggs and what matters to them. So lowering its head, it's mainly for protection, not for fear. So remember, your quiet seasons are not defeated seasons. Sometimes it's good to pause and re-strategize in a way so that you'll be able to protect what matters to you, your family, your team, or your organization. So remember, you don't have to explain your why when you are focused on your who. The fourth lesson is also to turn limitations into strength. Ostriches cannot fly, but instead of being defined by this limitation of not being able to fly, they become the fastest runner in the animal kingdom on earth. So what does it teach us? You may not have what others have, but you do have enough. So you don't need to focus on what you don't have, but rather focus on what you have that you can use to make a difference. So don't let what you lack blind you from what you already have. What you need to do is to stay grounded and be alert to apply or use what you have. The other thing is the ostrich doesn't really sleep with two eyes open. It normally keeps an eye open, watching out for whatever will happen. The ostrich stays alert and scanning the environment around so that it is not taken by surprise. So readiness, it's very important in every situation. And we need to learn how to be ready, not just ready in isolation, but readiness that is aligned with our purpose and our strategy and our mission. So, I want to ask you a question. What area of your life or leadership journey are you demonstrating the ostrich effect habit that you are ready to use the ostrich effect tool to unleash all these skills that the ostrich animal is teaching us? This has been Small Insight, Big Impact. I am Dr. David Cheche. If this episode speaks to you, tag someone who needs to hear it, share it with your community, and be sure to subscribe. Until next time, stay tall, face the truth, move with purpose, and protect your mission.